But speaking of spending lots of money on TV shows, let's talk a little bit about Tucker Carlson and his move to Twitter. And this was a very interesting story, at least I thought, because basically you have the biggest guy in cable news, who basically has decided that, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do a show on Twitter of all places, not Rumble, not YouTube, Twitter. Smart. I think that there are a lot of reasons behind this decision, where basically, Twitter is free speech, so he can basically say whatever he wants. He doesn't have a deal with Twitter, so basically he's not beholden to anything. He can do whatever he wants on Twitter. And with Twitter Blue, I believe they now allow up to an hour of video to be uploaded to your Twitter account. In fact, we're live streaming to Twitter right now, and so you can do multi-hour live streams right to Twitter, which is nice. But I don't think people go to Twitter to watch video. In fact, his first Twitter video after it was announced that he was fired from Fox News had something like 42 million views to it. But if you look at what Twitter counts as a view, it's 2 seconds worth of video playing. So that 42 million number is a little bit misleading. So the real question here is, will Tucker actually succeed on Twitter, and will Twitter become a viable video watching platform? Matt Vader 74, what's your take on this?
Well, it's certainly going to be a good test to see what Twitter can do with this kind of thing, because there's nobody better out there to test Twitter's video capabilities than somebody like Tucker Carlson. I mean, the dude has millions and millions and millions of fans out there, and haters, because let's face it, he's going to get a lot of hate watches, and he always has gotten a lot of hate watches, and it'll be a great test. I think it's a good move for him. I think it's about the only thing he could really viably actually do, because I believe he is still actually under contract in some form at Fox News. I think everybody says they're fired him, but I think it's more like we're just taking you off air so you can't influence the next election.
That's
cycle.
Exactly what happened. Yeah,
yep.
they basically
and that's
bullshit.
bullshit.
But they're still paying him.
And his non-compete clause might
Right.
not include social
Right.
media, so
Right.
it's kind of interesting. Brian,
So
what's your take on this?
No, I think Vader's right. They're still paying him. In fact, they, instead of firing him, they'd rather pay him out so that he can't go to another network and get
Destroy
the airtime, get the exposure, and get a better position. So they're going to continue paying him so that he's not a threat or a competition. That's wild. Imagine just like, you know what? Just take the next year off. No big deal. So he went to Twitter and he didn't sign a deal with Elon. There's nothing in stone. Whatever that means.
Just use my Twitter account, man. Just gonna use my Twitter account.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use my Twitter account. Yeah, Tucker did meet with Elon, but they didn't actually plan anything. Yeah, I think for 100%, I think Tucker and Elon have a handshake deal going on. And I'm sure that's a way to avoid Fox issues and to still get your voice out. Twitter is going to get, he's going to get a ton of traffic, bro.
Yeah.
Tucker's going to get so many views that it's really good for Twitter. And I'll tell you why. Because Tucker's star power is going to prove Twitter, or not, but more likely than prove Twitter as a viable video platform, which is going to which is going to drive more and more of us video creators to actually test the waters and or start uploading or streaming content there. What a wild concept. So maybe there's no, paper contract between Tucker and Twitter, but there is something, because Twitter is such an odd platform to put that on.
Yeah. And I want to throw this to Odin, because Odin, you and me, we've been on Twitter a long time. We know that it's not a place you go to watch long form video. Like maybe you watch like a 2-minute clip or whatever. And in fact, a lot of Tucker's like big like viral moments are like 2-minute clips from his like longer segments on there. Like I remember with the J6 stuff where like they actually showed like the video footage that went viral on Twitter, but it was just like a highlight clip. So the question is like, can Twitter be a competitor to YouTube? Because, as soon as Elon took over, he's like, yeah, I want to make this revenue share platform similar to YouTube and compete on the video sphere. But Twitter has tried to compete in video in the past with like Periscope and stuff like that, and it just kind of like fell flat on its face. So what's your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that part of it is also how they've, been doing stuff with Twitter Spaces. Because even though it's not a video platform, it's still more of a longer form content stuff, right? And I think that has shown itself, especially with the Twitter files. People were locked in, like not just news people, but like just even regular everyday people who are interested in the subject were, locked in, listening to those spaces, listening to them, whenever they could. And so I think that is already an early sign. But also, kind of going back to what was being said earlier, I think that this is actually a good move for both Elon and Tucker, because one, Tucker, it seems to, I would love to be interested to see like if in his contract I'm sure there's a non-compete, but would that only be non-compete in the network news space, right? Like, would it be able to include something like a Twitter where it's, hey, you have your own personal subscriptions and it's something that's directly on. So I'm wondering if what Twitter is actually a possible way out. I bet that's what the reason why it's taken so long is that lawyers are involved and are trying to go through all these other things and stuff to see what can we get away with, what can we actually risk, because it's going to be good for him in that he likely is going to get able to get his voice out quicker doing something with Twitter versus doing something with any other news agency if they were going to hire him, like with Newsmax or something like that. And also it's going to allow for Elon to be able to test some of these video features and be able to test also long-form content and, test the traffic, test all these other things. So really, I think ultimately it's a win-win for both in so many different ways. And I think it will, because he indeed did very well with various groups, various demographics, but I think he also did pretty well with key demos that are typically much more have a much more online presence. And so if he's able to get Twitter, a video platform streaming something similar to what you have on YouTube, can play in the background even just with the audio, then you might have a lot more people actually tuning in or listening.
Yeah, I mean, like there's been a lot of speculation about video versions of the spaces, but also. So Twitter has been rolling out these different monetization things like subscriptions, for instance, and things of that nature. So I could see it possibly morphing into like a weird version of Substack where like you can subscribe to Tucker Carlson, and pay like a low monthly fee and get like, special access to like his tweets and things of that nature. But Tom, do you think Twitter could ever be in a position to challenge YouTube in terms of like, content and monetization and stuff like that?
I mean, I think if anything, the only way it would ever compete is kind of what you were saying before, is it will always stop YouTube, just like Instagram and TikTok and all those, from ever really taking off with this stupid shorts business. Because I think you're right. I think the main thing is that when you think of Twitter videos, you don't think of anything more than 2 minutes usually, and that's even a stretch. Maybe a trailer, maybe a 4 or 5 minute video tops. Now, I have seen people stream. I have seen people post other things. In fact, I even saw that idiot who posted the entire Mario Brothers movie on Twitter. At the end of the day, though, I think sure he worked that shit out. Like, are you thinking so? Like, I guess we'll have to wait and see. And so, yeah, I think this is a loophole that they found, at least for now, until he can work out whatever problems he's got to, clean up over at Fox, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that he's stuck in a non-compete clause. Twitter doesn't count as a network, so he probably can't be on radio or television, I'd imagine. But when he got his contract, streaming probably wasn't a big deal yet.
Well, yeah.
So especially social media streaming.
Right.
Yeah, consider the arrogance of these other companies, right? Like there's these legacy media companies are so arrogant that they probably didn't even consider YouTube or social media platforms as being viable competitors.
Well, and we got to remember, YouTube is only, 13, 14, 15 years old, somewhere in that region.
I just got my 14th anniversary alert this week.
Right. I was going to say, I know it's not that old, and I'm sure Tucker's been on Fox for a better part of 20 years or better, as long as I can remember. So,
well, I think YouTube came out in 2006. Real quick, we just
So,
want to let everyone know that Odin will be eating pineapple pizza if Raz0rfist does not show up. It is a gentleman's bet that was agreed to without Odin's knowledge before the show started. So
It's Pineapple Gate all over again.
Pineapple
None of
Gate.
these things
As
are
somebody-
true.
as somebody who's not a lawyer, I must say he never agreed to this.
But real quick, guys, the weird value proposition and one of the reasons why Twitter exploded is that it's a micro blogging platform. It's meant to be short, Sweet, the people who we're all on Twitter, right? On the panel, the people who frequent Twitter like to read, and they like to read in short bursts, and they like to see like the news as it happens, and so like the sharing of links and stuff like that. That's what Twitter is good for. No one ever went to Twitter to watch video. The people who go there to basically read and snipe at each other. So I just want to send this out to the panel in general. Like, do you think that trying to shift the value proposition of Twitter to longer form media is a bad idea? Because it's one thing to sit there and listen to a roundtable Twitter space and go about doing your daily business, as opposed to having to pay attention to your phone and watch long form video on a platform that's meant for microblogging.
Yeah, I go to Twitter to waste 30 minutes a day while I'm drinking coffee. And if a video comes up on Twitter that I want to watch, like a movie trailer or something, I hit the little view on YouTube button or whatever that's connected to it, because I don't want to be at a smaller screen inside an already small screen. You know what I'm saying? I want to get that screen as big as I can. So Twitter and long form content, I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but I think the longer Elon futzes around with it and turns it into whatever his final image is of it, I think it's going to I think it'll get better and better as we go. But right now, no, it's not something I go to for long form content. And I don't know if it ever will be. These things I hear about what Elon wants to do with this thing, making an everything app or whatever, scares the holy crap out of me. I don't need an everything app on anything. I don't want any app out there, whether I like it currently or not, being able to track literally everything that I want to see or do or buy or purchase or what, I want that to be as difficult as possible. But no, I don't know if long form content on Twitter is a good thing. I don't think it is. Not right now anyway. So
I think if you change the format, and it's possible they change the format a little bit, they make it a little more accessible. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind if I'm on, I actually use Twitter a lot on desktop, just like I use YouTube on desktop. And I wouldn't mind popping on a long form stream or video, but they got to change the format. You're right. It's real small. It's hard to expand. And it's like, either it's this big or this big. There's like no in between. Mm-hmm. It's either real tiny or it takes over your entire desktop. So they got to make
I almost think like they need to do what Facebook did and give like videos their own feed, if you want to watch video, you can go there and check it out.
Their own page.
Real quick, we got another $5 super chat from Fluffy Panda. The issue was I didn't become allergic until my early 20s, so I had time to fall in love with beautiful, tasty, luscious Hawaiian pizza and pineapple. Good to know.
Well, again, if you really like it, I'm sorry that you got allergic to it.
That sucks.
So we're going to be talking a little bit more about.
Hey guys, if you could do me a quick favor, if you like this episode and it tickles your fancy, or any other episode that we've done in the past, share it on social media and tag us in that post so that we know you're talking about us, and we will immediately jump onto that app and we will respond to your tag. And we can talk about what you like about the episode and possibly talk about something that we might want to cover in the future. And we would love to bring you in our community. We have a wonderful Discord app as well. There's a bunch of people in there that just love chatting with us. And we'd love to hear from you. So if you like this podcast, tag us in that post and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you guys so much. Back to the podcast.
So Raz0r, I wanted to get your take on Tucker Carlson moving his show to Twitter. Now, obviously, like when he had kind of put out these two videos, first addressing his firing from Fox News and then saying that he had reached a deal with Twitter to basically do a show on there. The numbers on his views were like crazy, like 42 million. But we know that Twitter counts views in like 2-second increments. So if you watch 2 seconds of a video while you're scrolling through your feed, that counts as a view. So some of this stuff is a little bit off. But the value proposition of Twitter has always been microblogging. It's like the people on Twitter are readers. They go on there to read stuff. They don't go on there to watch long form video. Do you think that that this pivot that Elon is looking to make, especially with people like Tucker Carlson coming to the platform, do you think it's actually going to stick, or is this basically Twitter shooting itself in the foot?
No, I don't think they're shooting themselves in the foot at all. I think they're expanding. What's interesting is I think Elon Musk was making a little bit of noise about acquiring YouTube for a minute there. Please God, Elon, do it. No, but I think
do it.
I think he decided to take a different approach to the problem. I think he was like, wait a minute, I've already got the infrastructure for this. Like, we can already stream video. We've already got, what the fuck? Why don't we just try it on our own platform?
Yeah.
And this was just a really well-timed, happy accident. At the same time, a brilliant bit of gambit by fucking Fox management. Hey, Tucker, if you don't fall in line ideologically, your punishment is that you go have your own podcast where you don't share any of your revenue with us and make millions of fucking dollars. Okay, pal?
And
All
still
right.
get paid by us.
And we still pay off the rest of your contract via con dia, dipshit. Like, what the fuck?
Brilliant.
Who
Brilliant
crunched
deduction.
that mental calculus?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think that there's anything to the rumors that that him getting fired was part of the Dominion settlement?
I'm sure the I don't know if it was an actual part of the settlement. I don't think it needed to be for Rupert Murdoch to want to fire him out of spite.
Guys,
the other rumor,
they're owned by the
other
same
rumor-
company, though. BlackRock owns part of Fox, and they own part of Dominion. I mean, how much money are they really spending?
Well, in Dominion, I believe, didn't they just buy in relatively recently, too, around the time of the settlement or shortly
Right.
thereafter, almost as a condition of the settlement or as a
Almost as a
conciliatory
condition.
gesture? Yeah, so it could be. I'm not discounting the possibility. I'm just forwarding the fact that I don't think it necessarily has to be. There's also Victor Davis Hanson was talking about how the big rumor is that they literally, it could actually be this petty, and Rupert Murdoch has done shit like this, that Tucker Carlson and Rupert Murdoch and his fiance went out to dinner together, and his fiance, who is like 90 years his junior, was like, she was apparently outed over the course of that dinner as a massive Tucker Carlson fan. And she was gushing. The dew point in the room rised like 3 points. And she was suddenly revealed as a creationist and a Christian. And Rupert Murdoch, the whole dinner, was super quiet and stoic and whatever. And after the dinner, Tucker Carlson gets fired and the engagement with his fiance is off. Which
That's
is both
awesome.
both those things are true, by the way, and the dinner did occur. So this is so that's the other possibility. It could literally be a personal issue that is that fucking petty. And folks, Rupert Murdoch has done this shit before.
Yeah,
So-
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
so-
the HBO show Succession will give you a good idea of how that Rupert Murdoch thing works.
Hey guys, if you like this podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and comment below on your favorite video as well. That goes a long way with helping us boost our channel and get out there in front of more people. And it lets YouTube know that we're doing something right. And if you want to catch us live, we go live 2 times a week, once on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time and on Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. So join us there in the chat. We will see you on the live stream. Stay salty.